Hey Tucker, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about your motion, a little about your delivery, and just kind of talk about pitching mechanics, just kind of the way we are, sort of our lower half needs to work in relation to our upper body, and just, especially at your age, it's just a matter of sort of getting consistent with your delivery, sort of getting everything working in the right way, so that when you get older and get stronger, it'll be easy for you to get the power and velocity. It's for you. It's just a matter of using more legs, using more lower half, and just getting a little bit better arm path from your glove to really maximize everything. And we'll go through and talk a little bit about each step. So we'll go back here to the start. All right. So from the windup, the biggest thing is not a whole lot of movement side to side. Not a whole lot of movement front and back, so you're doing a good job. Your eyes are on the target the whole way. All right, so that's good to see. Now, what we want to see here is through this leg lift here. All right, so you can see this leg come up. All right, we're going to go and mark your head right at this point when your hips are kind of coming through. All right, so we're going to mark your head and sort of mark your spine about where you are in relation to your back foot. So you can see you're good, you're over your back foot, and then as this leg comes up, you can see you get a little bit taller and you're starting to come forward a little bit. Alright, so we want to try to make sure that our posture, our height isn't changing. So it looks like you're just kind of hopping up a little bit. Just try to lock that knee in place. Maybe you're just a little bit too bent. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle. But we just don't want any up movement with our head, and we don't want any down movement. Alright, so we just kind of want that head to stay flat. Alright, so just kind of watch that sort of lift up. And then all the way through that leg lift, we need to be staying over our back leg a little bit more. Alright, there can be a little bit of leak forward, but just try to stay a little bit more so we can get this timing, because where mechanics start, where our delivery starts, is right here, right at this leg lift. Alright, this is sort of that balance point. This is where everything starts. Alright, so for you, I want you to sort of key in back here. Let me draw a circle here for you. So you can see as you start forward, that ball stays above your elbow and you come through and throw. Alright? What we want to try to see you do, and the easy fix here, is at this point, at your balance point, drop your hands back in towards your chest. Drop your hands back, around the belly button, around your belt, wherever's comfortable in there. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep that ball sort of starting out below your elbow. Alright, so that just gives you a little bit better arm path. Just coming straight up out of the glove and forward. As you get older and you get stronger, that's going to put more stress on your elbow. Alright, so we just need a little bit more we don't have to go down all the way, but just having our glove set a little bit lower is just going to make you kind of force you to get that ball out and get it up and get it going a little bit more to give you a little bit better ball path. Alright, so we just don't want to see that hand sort of reach straight out, ball above the elbow, and get forward. Alright, we want to try to get a little bit more down, a little bit more action on it to get going. So that'll just be an easy fix. You don't have to think about changing anything with your left arm. You just want to think about coming set a little bit lower and letting that arm work a little bit more. Alright, so now lower body wise, at this point we want to see our hips start to go forward, and we want to see them stay closed and lead as long as we can. Alright, you have a good setup here with your foot and your knee. Alright, it's back over your back foot. It's set up for the hips to stay closed. So now what we want to see is hips start to go forward, hands break. So you're doing a good job at initially getting your lower body going. Alright, and now it's just a matter of just timing up your hands a little bit. You can see how as your body's going down, your hands kind of stay back here. We want to try to keep them, around that glove. Never really gets past, the backside of your body. So when we're coming set more down around your belly button, around your stomach there, that glove's just sort of going to kind of come out and follow that front leg a little bit more. Instead of kind of having to play catch up, then you rotate it early a little bit. So you're doing a good job. You got the good foundation of how your hips need to drive. you're getting the good momentum. Alright, so now it's just a matter of trying to maintain that momentum and drive all the way through your legs down over your front foot through release. And I'll go through and talk a little bit about that too. So what we look at next is foot strike. So once that front foot hits the ground, which looks like it's about between one of these two frames, probably about right here, alright? You got looks like the heel starting to turn, you got weight on that inside part of that knee, that's just good. Alright, you're getting out here a little bit. Looks like you could maybe gain another half foot or so. If you mark off 5 to 6 feet lengths, that kind of gives you a good sort of goal of where you should be getting to. Alright, your angles are looking pretty good here with your shoulders. Alright, your front elbows drop down a little bit, but it's not too bad. Again, just keeping that glove out over that front foot. If you're just getting it going a little bit earlier instead of lagging it back, it'll get out there a little bit more. So, and then basically through release, as you get older, this takes a lot of strength. But as you get older, what we're going to want to see is hips start to go forward before your shoulders. All right, so you can see here, everything's going at the same time. We want to try to get to, maybe this point with your hips. Now that upper body, it was back at that spot we kind of drew, so you're just getting the hips to go first and then the shoulders come through. But that's a big strength deal. That's something that'll come as you get a little bit older. But another thing you can work on now is through your release. Alright, you can see here at your release, your head's behind your foot. Alright, it looks like you're kind of leaning off towards third base a little bit. Your gloves doing good at staying out front, but we want to try to see you is drive through that back leg a little bit more to get out over your front foot. Alright, so we want to try to see you out here. Alright, so now that head, that chest is out over that front foot. Alright, and all that is you can see back here, if you just kind of watch this back foot, it just kind of pops up off the ground a little bit. Just kind of pops up off the ground. Now you're kind of releasing the ball with one foot. Alright, we want to try to drive through the ball, that back foot still on the ground all the way through release. Alright, and that's something you can do now. Just work on every time you're playing catch, every time you're throwing, is that we're going to want to try to get ourselves out over that front foot. Even playing catch, especially with the younger guys, I have them play catch, throw the ball, drive all the way through that back foot, and then try to get that chest parallel to the ground, leg parallel to the ground, just basically be flat and try to hold that position every time they throw. That just kind of helps them sort of understand how you need to stay through. Through release, you're almost standing straight up. We want to try to see you get more back here. Just using more body. The more body you use too as you get older, it's going to decelerate your body and use less shoulder, because right here, when you're just kind of decelerating, it's just that shoulder's taking that load, whereas we want to distribute that as much as we can through your whole body. All right, that'll take less wear off and strain off your arms. So for you, again, it's just a matter of just finishing out over that front foot. You got a good foundation of everything, and then the biggest thing too is just come set, hands down around that belly button, around that waist, somewhere down there that's comfortable for you, just not out in front of that body, to get that arm path going a little bit more. So thanks for making it out to camp. Hopefully you had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.